Hello and welcome. You are listening to the Jesters Court with me, Mike Evelyn, and joining me tonight, as almost always, is Mom Thulu.
Or Jen Evelyn.
Oh my God, she dropped her name too.
Oh God!
Can we start calling you by your name?
No, call me Mom. Call me Mom Thulu. Okay, that's fine. I don't give a shit. But just whatever.
Whatever, Jen Thulu.
Jen Thulu. I don't like that. Don't do that again.
Sure, Jen Thulu. All right. So while we're doing the intros, how was your week?
My week?
No, the other person on the show.
Oh, Toby, how was your week? He just closed his eyes again. So, I mean, I guess it was fine. It's hard being a dog. My week was okay. I wasn't feeling that good this week. I have like a case of bronchitis, which apparently, right, bronchitis, not the Rona. We're for sure, though, it's not the Rona because I went and got tested. So, I got a cold back in during Christmas, and I've been trying to kick it, and it has not gone away. So they gave me some antibiotics to kick it. So,
because that works super well with viruses.
Yeah. But it was a rough week at work for me. Not really. It was a rough week at work for me because we came back from a holiday, and banking holidays are like the worst because when we come back, we are just smoked all day long, just freaking smoked. So, it was a rough week at work, and then I wasn't feeling well. So, I'm feeling better now though. So I still have like snot and coughing, but at least my back doesn't hurt like it did. Yeah. So how was your week? Yeah.
It's no one at my job knows except for my boss that I'm leaving next week.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I swear they know because they're pushing. They're pushing. Like they're challenging my resolve.
Really?
Yes, because other than for I want the paycheck reasons, there's another bonus in the mix this Friday that I should get because I'm still employed.
Uh-huh.
And I don't want to screw that up, but every day I'm in there, they're like doing their drama BS, and maybe it's just because I know I'm leaving and I don't have the patience for it anymore. But I'm like, I could just leave right now. I could just turn around and walk out.
That's always how it is. Like whenever you put your notice in, especially when you're really fed up with the job, it's so hard to stay there. It's so hard to stay there. And I have to admit that I'm the one that puts the notice in, but like the day before, I'm like, okay, I just can't. I just friggin' can't.
It's 50-50 if I don't get this bonus, which I'll know on Wednesday when the this pay stub posts, that I just say deuces.
Yeah. Well, a little vacation before you.
Well, we don't know exactly when I'm starting at the new job. I'm going to take a few days off, and then I'm going to be a waiter and Instacart to make sure that February bills on my end get paid. And then when I start the new job, hurrah.
Cool.
All right. So, before we get started, we do want to shout out to our patrons.
You.
Yes, we have AMD himself, Kyle here, Firebrand, which we all love you, Firebrand. You're amazing. And Derek Diamond, who was on last week's show.
Yeah, I really liked doing podcasts with Jacob and Derek. That was the first time I ever done one with Derek. Like he was a cool guy. I liked him. And I went and did I sub to a show that he was on? I don't know. I did open micers and
you
Nerd
did
Cave.
open micers. I know.
Nerd Cave Retro.
He's half of Nerd Cave Retro.
Okay. See. Yeah.
And then he has his own podcast, feature presentation.
Yeah.
Because Derek is an aspiring filmmaker.
Well, I'm gonna have to check that one out too because I love indie movies. I really do.
You can watch the first and the third. The second episode, for the same reason I can't watch it, you have to wait.
Oh, okay. Well,
because it's all about Cobra Kai.
Oh shit!
Including an interview with Dimitri, by the way.
No way!
Yeah,
Dimitri's one of my favorite characters.
He interviewed Dimitri.
I'm so excited for that.
But it's gonna spoil season 3.
Don't worry. We're gonna get through Cobra Kai first. But yeah, shout out to Derek Diamond and the Derek Diamond experience. He's a cool guy.
He is a cool
and Jacob
guy.
Craig too. He was a cool guy.
These are all Pensacon folks I've met.
Yeah. I've not. is it maybe it's just because you do the volunteering, but I've not met anybody at Pensacon, or maybe it's just because I'm a self-centered Leo. I don't know.
It's 100% the volunteering, because I met them all through Jason, and I met Jason because he was in the same hallway as me like 3 years in a row, and then I finally I recognized him every year, and then I finally came up and said something to him because he was wearing he was cosplaying Ghostbusters, and he had the full-on Ghostbusters get up with a proton pack, and I was like, that's a cool costume.
Nice. Well, they're cool people. Cool people. For sure. Anyway, continue with your podcast, sir. I'll stop talking.
Give me permission. Thank you for your permission.
You're welcome.
So for those of you who aren't watching live or on YouTube and can't see the graphic on the screen, guess what we're talking about tonight?
Would you like to swing on a star? Carry me home in a jar. And be better off than you are.
For those of you who do not recognize what we're talking about, Hudson Hawk.
A mule is an animal with long funny ears. He kicks up at anything.
Famous for being a flop.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing that it was.
And by the way, if you hit the
You may grow up to be a little bit.
You think so?
Oh, I know so. Right now, it's got a 38% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. But here's what really, technically speaking, it is a flop, because it grossed 16 million domestic and cost over 70 million to make.
Oh my God! Are you kidding?
Yes.
Wow.
A lot of that, though, because this is pre-internet, remember. So a lot of that credit goes to the studio, because for reasons I cannot understand, they labeled this movie as an action thriller.
See, now they should have called it a comedy right from the get-go, because it was from the moment the movie opens, it's a freaking comedy. Come on.
It's a live action Saturday morning cartoon, guys. It's
pretty much.
I would have taken noir spoof, because it is a spoof on noir movies.
Yeah, you're right.
But action comedy, I think you hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
Thriller.
Not
so yeah,
even
you get
bit.
people going in expecting a thriller, leaving disappointed. Then they tell their friends it's disappointing. You're like, we were going to go see Die Hard, and they gave us this Looney Tune crap. Looney Tune meets the Pink Panther. I don't understand. And so yeah, it was low turnout.
That's ridiculous. I mean, okay, so this movie, in my opinion, this movie is right up there with is it Johnny Dangerously or Johnny Dangerous?
Johnny Dangerously.
Okay. It's up there with that or Harlem Nights. Come on. This was one of those action comedies that was in the 90s that was just like, it was a great movie. Like, I can't believe people didn't like it, and I can't believe that it hurt Bruce Willis's career so much. That sucks.
I mean, in the end, he ended up okay. Let's not get too worried about Bruce Willis.
Well, yeah, of course.
He came out the other end just fine.
Right. Anyway.
So, do you remember when was the first time you saw this movie?
Oh God, it was in the 90s, and for the longest time, my parents just had analog TV. Because my mom and my stepdad were like huge cheapskates, right? So we had analog TV for the longest time. And I remember when my mom finally started being a nurse, which I was like 14. So that would be 95, 96. What year was this movie made?
I have no idea. It's not that kind of detailed review, okay?
Okay, well, hold on a second. Let me look that up.
I want to say 91 off the top of my head.
1991, you're right. Wow, that was good. Anyway, so my parents they decided, when my mom got a job as an RN, she was bringing in significantly more money. So, like one day we get home from school and there's this fancy new cable box, it's all digital and shit. And it's like, what is this? And my mom's like, oh yeah, we got Showtime and we got HBO. Oh my God. The movies that we watched that whole weekend were we watched Hudson Hawk that weekend. We watched, Oh my God, there was this Latin dancing movie in the 90s. That was like the Forbidden Dance. And it was like an Amazonian dance. I can't. But we watched that one. We watched, oh my God, we watched so many. There was Rockula. Have you ever seen the movie Rockula?
I'm not all the way through.
Oh God, we gotta watch it now. Okay, no, you were doing a whole episode on freaking Rockula, you guys. So I mean, we watched so many movies that weekend. It was just like from the time we got home from school on Friday until like Sunday morning, we just binge watched Showtime and HBO. But this was one of those movies that my brothers and we were actually able to like really enjoy. So it's good times, good memory. When was the first time you watched it?
Similar story. See, my mom, we were poor. We had basic cable, but we did not have HBO and stuff. But when we went to visit my dad in the summer, he had all the cool channels. So summer at my dad's, I must have watched this 900 times because you know how HBO back in the day, to make sure everyone had a chance to see it, would just show the same thing over and over and over and over again. It's like listen to the radio, you know, they have like the 10 things that they show and they just keep it in a loop.
Yeah.
So that was one of my dad reveals.
Very cool. Very cool.
But I loved it. And maybe it's because we both saw it as kids, so you know we were 11 years old.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's just like one of those movies that you just absolutely enjoyed. I mean, I don't know. I just can't believe people hated it quite as much as they did.
If you look at it through the lens of what it's supposed to be, which is a spoof, you know, a parody, then yeah, there's some moments that don't hit.
There are a few moments. Oh, well, like, I'm sorry, Sandra Bernhardt
raises chewing the scenery to a whole new level.
God, I did not. Okay, so if there was any part of this movie that really annoyed me, it was any scene with her in it.
Bunny, ball.
It was terrible. She was awful, but you know, it was such a good movie. Okay. Like I love anything that gives me like Monty Python entries, you know, like it really did with like the book and everything. I was like, what the hell are we watching? Monty Python? No, just this, but it was good. But one of my favorite opening scenes was, don't worry, that's just some random guy on the donkey or something like that. You remember? He was like, that's just some guy on the donkey.
Well, he was like, you know, this person's this person's that. The guy on the donkey is this is the guy on the donkey.
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
I like how you thought that Leonardo da Vinci was Goose, Anthony Edwards.
Oh, well, because like when he was walking in, it looked like Goose for a second. I was like, is that the guy that plays Goose? Michael's like, no. I was like, are you sure? And then they got a close up of him. And I'm like, okay, yeah, no, you're right. It's definitely not. But from a distance, he totally looked like him. He did, just with a fake beard on.
So what was your favorite part of the movie?
My favorite part of the movie?
Yeah.
My favorite part of the movie was that he went the entire fucking movie without finishing a cup of coffee.
That running gag, yes.
Every time he brought it to his lips, some shit happened to it. Like the first time it shot, like what? He hit a bump the first time because he had it right out of prison, and it like went flying everywhere. And he's like, he had the perfect amount of foam. And then the next time he's like going to put it to his lips and it gets shot out of his hand. By the way, getting shot out of his hand in the middle of a crowded yuppie bar in New York City, like they didn't hit some random dude in the head as he was walking by. Whatever. But
no, there was no, if you looked at the shot, there was no clear line of sight. There was no way that they made that shot.
No. And I also like the fact that he sang a lounge song every single time he was like, you know, like robbing something. That, you know, that was how they measured how quickly they could get in or out, was by a song and its length.
I can't think of the actor who plays Tommy Five Tone, but
Five Tone, yeah.
It's like, you know, they invented something while you were in. It's called a clock or a watch. A watch. Yeah. But you don't even really get a sense of what year it is in that movie. You know what I mean? Like the clothes scream early 90s.
Kind of, because like the stuff that's that, you know, Minerva's wearing, and you know, whatever that British guy, you know, it kind of screams
Jeeves.
Vintage, but yeah. some of it, even the stuff that Hudson Hawk is wearing is kind of vintage. But then
I wish I could pull that off. Black shirt, black trench, like duster.
Bowler hat, yeah.
And yeah, he had the Frank Sinatra hat. I wish I could pull that off. I used to walk around wearing a Frank Sinatra hat. And then I realized
the fedora.
Yeah, the fedora. But I realized
I called it a bowler hat, but it's not right.
I wasn't pulling it off, and I had to stop.
Yeah. I mean, you might have been. I don't know. I'd have to see a picture. You probably weren't, though.
I think there's only one picture that exists, and it's on Facebook.
I'm gonna have to go look at this now. Oh wait, I wish that it wasn't so crappy. Show up on screen. I'd pull it up and show everybody.
You aren't sharing your screen, so you can't.
Oh shit! Well, I'm on camera, dipshit.
We gonna print it out?
No, I was gonna hold my phone up.
Kyle believes in me, and he's one of our patrons, so his opinion counts.
Anyway, so what was your favorite part of the movie?
Just the quips back and forth, in particular at the very beginning when he's asking what he wants to do. Is like, you want to bang some broads? You want to go do this? You want to play some Nintendo? And his response, because he'd been in prison for 10 years, what's Nintendo?
You're right. That was good.
Just the dialogue, the back and forth.
Oh my God. You're not going to believe this. I found this picture.
I told you it was on Facebook.
I'm going to show it. I'm going to show it. Look at this.
All you can see in that picture is the hat. It's so overexposed. It's so white blob with the hat.
It's really bad, but he tried, you guys. He tried. He's wearing it backwards, though.
I'm not wearing it backwards.
You are wearing it backwards.
Or if that was a Mardi Gras ball, I was pretty drunk. It might have actually ended up backwards at some point.
He said, I bet you could hold Sunbeam in a jar.
It's one of the lines from one of the songs, dear.
Uh-huh, I know. Anyway, so...
I love that. And aside from their names, I liked the candy bars.
Oh,
and James Colburn as the main villain or the secondary villain.
Yeah. The big, tall, blonde, dumb dude. Oh man, he really was good. Especially like at the end there, whenever he was like, you better go brief the whoever their last names were. I don't remember. Mayflowers, something like that. Go brief the Mayflowers.
We literally just watched this 3 hours ago.
He opens the door and goes in there, and they shoot him full of crossbow bolts, and then he comes he just turns around and walks out, and he turns and he's like, "Sir, I think the Mayflowers may have double crossed us," and he just falls down. I'm like,
they had one of the best lines too, because it's so cheesy and it's so stupid, but their line, double crossbow for a double cross.
Yes. It's so campy.
The campy, ridiculous dialogue is my favorite. The end of the movie when Five Tones is alive.
Yeah.
They just made it out like it was ridiculous.
Right.
Do you believe that? Sure, that's what happened.
Right?
They had sprinklers back there.
System, you believe that shit? You believe that
shit? He actually acted it out, the sarcastic sure. Sure. Yeah, that's what happened. That's probably what happened.
Yeah. Oh my God. But watching it, I think one of my comments to you was, look how young Andie MacDowell looks.
She looked 14.
Oh my God, she was so young. I love Andie MacDowell, by the way. She is hands down a great actress, especially for these campy, funny movies. She was great in Groundhog Day.
Groundhog Day.
Oh God,
she was the one in 4 Weddings and a Funeral too, wasn't she?
Yeah, she's just great all around. Andie MacDowell is a solid actress, especially for her 90s roles. But Multiplicity. Oh God.
Oh, that's right. She was the wife in Multiplicity.
Fucking Multiplicity.
And I like Bruce Willis too. I like Bruce Willis a lot.
Yes. Bruce Willis? You mean Michael Keaton?
No, we're talking about this movie, dear.
Oh, I thought you were, because I just said Multiplicity. I was like, you're like, I like Bruce Willis. I was like, he wasn't in that. It was Michael Keaton.
Lord have mercy.
My Multiplicity is one of my favorite 90s movies, hands down. It's so good. Anyway, we're talking about Hudson Hawk, and I'm talking about Multiplicity. Anyway.
Let's talk about Michael Keaton.
Yeah, Michael Keaton.
He was Batman, Oh, wait, that's the wrong episode. Last episode.
That was last week. That was last week for sure. Man, I was such a downer in that episode, though. I'm so sorry to anybody who was on the show with us, because I was just not feeling good. Ugh.
I still can't believe Kyle likes. I'm sorry, I got sidetracked. Because Kyle also likes Michael Keaton.
Yeah, I see that.
For those on the podcast, we're reading the chat.
What did you?
I still can't believe it. I didn't know this till I looked into this movie, which I didn't do as much research as I usually do because this movie is just it definitely is flawed. You know, we're not even going to address that. It's just a fun movie.
Mm-hmm.
But I was shocked that it lost so much money.
Yeah, me too. And you're right. It has to be the way that it was marketed. Like, I believe if they would have marketed almost like they did, what was the name of that Charlie Sheen movie? They were making fun of Top Gun and Rambo.
Oh, Hot Shots.
Hot Shots. If they had marketed it like they did Hot Shots or like The Naked Gun and things like that, that it would, because those movies are funny, but they're also like, you know, actiony, right? So if they had marketed it like they did those movies, it would have been a hit. It would have been a hit. That's just all there is to it. People went in disappointed. That has to be what it is. Like, I don't understand how you could not watch Hudson Hawk with as many campy and funny moments that were in there and not just, you know, it wasn't over the top like The Naked Gun and, you know, Hot Shots and stuff like that. It wasn't over the top like that, but it was still really freaking funny.
Yeah, the key for this movie is going into it understanding that the movie is dumb. It's slapstick, ridiculousness.
Yeah.
You know, it's brilliantly bad. It's brilliantly bad.
Oh man, that last episode or that last scene where the fight scene, whenever Hudson Hawk's on the roof with the
when he keeps moving up and down.
Yeah, and they're like slap him, and they just keep slapping him and slapping him and slapping him, and then you know he's like, "How do I stop this?" And he's going up and down. that was like really good. It was really good.
I did look into it a little bit, and there was some talk like, you know, like the humor falls flat and it's stupid.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't. The humor isn't funny. Like I laughed. You laughed. Are we just like not as smart as these people on the internet?
We laugh at fart jokes though. So
like when he orders the Italian meal in Italy, like in perfect Italian, and then goes like Brooklyn and like, oh, and give me some ketchup.
And the guy's walking away like Americans and ketchup, you know, like, yeah, it's a really good movie. It is. It honestly probably just falls to bad advertising, you know, like, I don't know. I don't know how anybody could hate it. I really don't.
It's too cute to hate. I mean, hate Sandra Bernhardt. Okay, give you that.
Who doesn't hate Sandra Bernhardt? You know, she's a stand-up comedian. Did you know that?
I knew she came from comedy. I didn't know she was a stand-up.
Yeah, she's a stand-up comedian. She's actually pretty funny, but I don't know. It's just like...
I don't know her, the stand-up, her, the actress. I've never liked anything. I can't think of anything I liked her in.
That's what I'm saying. Like, as an actress, I don't like her, but she's actually a pretty funny lady when she does her stand-up. She's like Maya Rudolph. Maya Rudolph, by the way, amazing actress. If you've don't know who Maya Rudolph is, but Maya Rudolph does better in like the comedy settings, like in the campy comedy stuff. I'm sure you know who Maya Rudolph is, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Keep talking. You know, it's a podcast, so.
Right.
Explain to the people.
She really does well in like the funnier roles. Like, I don't think I've ever seen anything that Maya Rudolph was in that was serious, that was like mind blowing. But man, Sandra Bernhardt, her acting is just bad and terrible. Like it's always bad.
I said it earlier. This movie, she brought like chewing the scenery, overacting, like just to a whole new like Olympic level. Like, oh my God.
She's sitting there
got
on
the power.
Table. I got the power. Just keep going and like hollering it. And he's like walking in and everybody's looking around all like, she's just, I got the power. It's
that was the scene when we watched this afternoon where my daughter was in the room with us.
Yeah.
That was the scene where I forgot about that scene and I thought in a minute, like maybe she shouldn't be watching this. Where the dog is chewing his balls and he's like,
he's like, I'm
2 more minutes.
There.
I was almost there.
Yeah. Or there was one scene where they were like going through the slideshow and they went a little too far.
Oh yes.
And then he was like like she's in like a dominatrix outfit and he's like in a gag with like the leather harness and stuff. And I'm looking over at Jill like, man, we really didn't think this through as parents inviting her to watch this.
But I was her age when I watched it. Our parents didn't care.
I know, but man.
I've said this before and I say it again. We were watching Ghostbusters, which had ghost blowjobs. Everyone smoked. That was the 80s.
Yes, man. It was the 80s. The 80s.
That was pretty mild, actually, compared to some of the stuff I saw.
Do you know, like, since we're on the topic of, you know, parents in the early 90s and late 80s, my mom used to drive us down to the store. Actually, she would just write a note, give me her driver's license, and send me to the store with the money, the note, and the driver's license. And there was this corner store. I would walk in there and hand it to the lady, and she would give me my mom's cigarettes. And I would walk them home.
Oh, I didn't even need the license. Dad used to send us to ride our bike to the Circle K by his house, give us enough money for a pack of cigarettes and a candy bar, and we would just walk in. I was 8 years old and knew my dad smoked Marlboro Reds.
Yeah. My mom, I don't remember what the name of them are now. This 8-year-old kid
came see over the counter with my Snickers bar and Marlboro Reds in a box, please.
She smoked Virginia Slims. That's what she smoked.
She
Oh, God.
Of course she did.
This fucking stink of Virginia Slims. And then when she got off of those and did Marlboro Lights for a while. Blech. But anyway, yeah, that's how parenting was in like the early 90s, is that, you know, you could walk into a store as a 7-year-old and be like, my mommy would like a pack of Marlboro, you know, like, and they would just be like, cool, here.
I mean,
bye.
You had cigarette machines everywhere that didn't check IDs either.
Right.
I mean, by the time we got to high school, they only existed in bars, but early they were everywhere.
Yeah, I remember whenever they started like making people card and like only adults could buy that stuff, my mom was pissed. You mean I gotta buy my own smokes?
I gotta go to the store myself.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm a lazy asshole too, so if I got used to someone else doing that, like grocery shopping, if I had to go back to actually walking through the store and buying groceries.
Right. Right.
I'd be a little irritated too.
I mean, I did that the other day. Did I tell you that? Because I bought our groceries at Grocery Outlet because I had the kids and I wanted to go somewhere that wasn't that populated. So I went to Grocery Outlet instead of going to Winn-Dixie or Walmart or something.
Oh my God. Sorry. We're going to get back to the podcast, I swear. But first I want to mention, do you remember when we were poor enough we had to go to Grocery Outlet with the weird brands?
Yeah. Yeah. It's a good thing. Like, all I bought there was like name brand stuff and like, you know, name brand stuff basically. But yeah, when we were struggling financially, we had to get like all the off-brand stuff, and we would have like the off-brand frozen stuff, and it would be already cooked, right? It wouldn't just be frozen, it would be like cooked, so when you cook it, it turned mushy and bleh, yeah. But there's no hate to that. You know what, we're actually getting an Aldi's here, and I am so fucking stoked for that. Like, we're getting one in Pensacola first, and then we're gonna get one in Pace. And let me tell you, even though that's a discount grocery store, we will be buying all of our groceries there because fucking Aldi's is the shit.
Is that something from up north? I've never heard of them.
You don't know what Aldi's is? It's a German-based grocery store chain. And yeah, it's discount stuff. It's like a Save-A-Lot or something like that. But their food is freaking amazing. It's freaking amazing. Okay. Like they're just, it's amazing. Listen, it's fucking great. Okay. Aldi's all the way.
You know what else is fucking great?
What?
Annie McDowell and Bruce Willis in this movie.
Annie McDowell. I thought it was funny that she was a nun, right? Like that was her role. She was like some spy ass nun. Like, what was that? That was a little weird. That was a little weird. She's like over there, like massaging him and like kissing his back. And she's like, I can't do this. The Lord is watching.
Oh my God, the ridiculous, the crucifix that glowed and was a walkie-talkie.
Right. The fucking Pope's watching Mr. Ed. Oh man, it was so good. It was so good.
I can't, to this day, I was curious until we watched it today. Every time I've watched this movie, I can't do it without getting Swinging on a Star stuck in my head.
Well, and that's because, Bruce Willis actually did a pretty good job with that song. So.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. His version's better than the Bing Crosby version they play at the end of the movie.
It's kind of true. It's kind of true.
So in addition to being funny, it's also good music.
Good music. Especially if you like that lounge shit, which I do.
I do love the end when they're walking around the castle all, shooting the grenade, little grenade bombs everywhere. That was so great.
Yeah. Singing that song. What was it?
That was Side by Side.
Side by Side. Yeah. Yeah. Just shooting them everywhere. Set the timer next time, because before they had it like to immediately
Did you set the timer? No.
No.
Next time. Okay. For those of you who've been watching, the negative parts about this were so generic and all over the map. There was not points of contention that we're arguing. Basically, call it a bonus episode if you want. This is just us talking about how we enjoy the movie.
It was a really good
For
movie.
those of you joining now and trying to figure out, wait, this is not how this is usually structured.
Right. I mean, it's people didn't like it, okay? And it's not a fandom, you know, like, so, which is what we normally do here is we break down toxic fandoms. But this is just a movie that we really enjoyed. So go watch it. You'll enjoy it too. I assure you.
Yes, you have our seal of approval anyway.
Yeah, for reals.
If nothing else, it's worth it to watch the beginning, and you can hear Bruce Willis "Swinging on a Star."
Right. Right.
Which is the song you heard in the intro.
So we wrapping this up or what?
I think we are, because I don't really have. There's not points to break down.
Not really.
I just like the movie that much, and I wanted to put it on here because I'm like, I want to defend this movie. It's a good movie.
Well, it was nice to see everybody. Thanks for listening and hanging out. Go watch Hudson Hawk. Change Rotten Tomatoes, which, by the way, let's talk about that for just a second. Rotten Tomatoes is the most inaccurate thing there ever was. Like,
the point of this show is talking, bringing out trolls and toxic internet crap.
Right.
There's
Rotten
a reason
Tomatoes.
why I go to talk to Reddit and Rotten Tomatoes, because that's where you find all the trolls. That's where you find all the negative bull.
Tumblr's not that big anymore, or you'd find a lot of trolls on Tumblr for sure.
Showing our age there. Tumblr. We'll talk about Vine next. Remember Vine?
Vine was funny. Come on.
It was TikTok, but before it was popular.
TikTok before TikTok, right? It was Vines.
So tell us where we can find you this week, and don't forget to mention your new great idea.
So this week you can find me on twitch.tv/momthulu. I plan to do a streaming at least one of my off days because I'm off Monday and Tuesday this week. So, that's great. Might do some Instacart, just make some extra scratch. Might not. I don't give a shit. So you might see me there, probably being a cowboy while I'm doing the laundry. That seems to be something that I'm doing on my day off anymore is I play Red Dead Redemption 2 and I do the laundry at the same time. I'm having a lot of fun with it because I get to play my favorite game and I get to be a cowboy. But yeah, so you can find me at twitch.tv/momthulu. But coming soon is what my husband was trying to get me to push. Coming soon, there will be a new podcast somewhere on the internet, and it's going to be called The Innsmouth Rag. And it is a horror movie gossip reel, is pretty much. We're going to be talking about horror movies and pretty much just ripping on them, because as much as I love them, horror movies are fucking ridiculous. They're fucking ridiculous. So I really am looking forward to this. So you can find me wherever the hell that goes. It's probably going to be on Apple and whatever. I won't be streaming it on Twitch though. Seems to be a lot of work to stream it on Twitch and then you put it on YouTube, and then so it's gonna all be audio, no video. But yeah, the Innsmouth Rag is what we're calling it.
The Innsmouth Rag.
Yeah. Kudos to anybody who knows what that's in reference to.
As for the show, if you want to help support the show, we have a merch link in the About Us, and you can get cool shit like this coffee mug that I'm drinking out of.
At least they put the logo in the right place this time.
I have the only version of that old cup where they put the logo here,
like right there.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah.
I have that cup still, but I have the only version that ever went out. So yeah, check out the merch. You could be a patron. You can follow us at patreon.com/the Jesters Court. You get all kinds of cool exclusives, including coming as soon as I can wrangle some people and a schedule together, a commentary track on this here movie, Hudson Hawk, coming soon.
Coming soon.
Also, other little fun things like when Mom Thulu basically dared me to what happens if J.J. Abrams directed this Star Wars movie, and I put it to sabotage. That's in there.
Every movie J.J. Abrams ever directs has got sabotage in it somewhere.
You've got John Woo with the Doves. You've got J.J. Abrams with the Beastie Boys.
It's true. The Beastie Boys. And it's not just that. It's either Sabotage or Intergalactic. Those are the only two fucking songs he ever does. He doesn't do anything else that the Beastie Boys did.
Do any other songs?
They did. Oh my on, brass monkey. You know, come on.
So follow us on Patreon. If you are a patron subscriber or however you want to word that, you will see this episode tomorrow morning as opposed to having to wait till Friday.
Cool.
So also early access.
Yeah.
Next week we will be talking, and I'm pretty sure it's just me and Mom Thulu, but we're going to talk about The Rocketeer.
Oh my God, we got to watch The Rocketeer. Just kidding. It was an okay movie.
Okay, first off, there is no movie that contains Jennifer Connelly that is simply okay.
You're correct. But we won't talk about that, okay? Because during The Labyrinth and this movie, and you're talking about The Rocketeer, she was like, what? Super young? We can't talk about her.
This movie, she was an adult. Labyrinth, she was 13. And I give myself credit because at the time I was like 8. So it's not skeezy that I had a crush on her.
I also had a crush on her.
Jennifer freaking Connelly.
It is. It's like, she's so pretty.
Definitely tune in next week. We'll be doing that. And otherwise, thank you guys for hanging out and have a good night.
Peace out.